So today we're reacting to some of the hottest takes on modern day hip hop. So let's get right into it. The first one that comes to us from Caleb, who says MGK is overhated. He's one of the best rappers of this generation.
Jeez, that's tough. Do you think he has an honest chance of like cracking the top 25?
I don't even think he's like top 50 of the year that he came out in, bro.
That was a rhetorical question.
I mean, even if you look at like his best projects like Lace Up or Black Flag, like there's nothing that remarkable about them.
Well, not only that, but I think that once the whole Eminem thing happened, he had no choice but to switch genres. I mean, like it was pretty one-sided at that. But did you hear the thing about him making a return to rap music?
And I don't know why he's doing that, because he's seen like the most success of his career now that he's gone into like this rock and like punk lane. So I don't know why he's coming back to the rap side of
Maybe
things.
he just misses it. I mean, who knows? Maybe he wants to deliver some fire verses.
But listen, Caleb, much love, but that is a horrible take. But it's a great one to start off this video. Let's get into the next one.
All right, listen, I got the next one from Alex. Listen to this one. J. Cole isn't a top 10 rapper of the decade. Not of all time. Of the decade, all right?
That's awful.
Listen, I'm going to have to give this an L. I definitely do not think that this is true. And I think he's top 3 of the decade. Like, dude, undeniable. 2010. Like, he had it on lock, bro. Commercial success, projects, even his rapping ability.
Probably the best feature run of the last half of this decade.
Probably one of the best feature artists of the 2010 decade, too. Like, just like his ability to also bring up Dreamville and like all of the work that he did on that. Like, the whole like spur of the Revenge of the Dreamers, you know, like. Come on, how isn't he top 10 of the fucking decade?
Even the fact that his pen game is just getting better year after fucking year. I mean, like, from a technical standpoint, like, the offseason might be his best work in terms of his rapping.
Not only that, but I also do think that he did have, like, the best, like, back-to-back run, one of the best, in the 2010 decade with 2014 and For Your Eyes Only. Like, there's very few artists that were able to replicate that. I mean, listen, Drake did it with Take Care and Nothing Was the Same. Kendrick did it with GKMC and To Pimp a Butterfly. And then you got, J. Cole that did it again with, fucking 2014 and For Your Eyes Only.
Underrated producer as well.
Absolutely.
And is also a great curator, a great fucking, executive who's put together one of the best and, brightest labels that we have in hip hop. Like, the list goes on and on for his accolades, but let's get on to the next one that I have. And this one is interesting. So it comes to us from Griffin Yon, who says, trap music is almost dead. The next wave is hyperpop / hyper hip hop. And listen, in terms of quality, you could argue that trap is dying out, but I mean, take the example of Future's album I Never Liked You that just came out, which is going to have the biggest debut of the fucking year, selling 200,000 copies. So clearly it's not dying out, but could you really see hyperpop being like the next wave, the next big wave?
Fuck, you never know. I mean, how many conversations were there about certain subgenres that, people didn't think were going to pop off and then they end up completely taking over? I mean, like, looking at trap music, dude, like, it's been going strong for some time now. And I mean, you guys know how we feel about I Never Liked You. I mean, if you guys want to go watch the review, click the link. But looking at that album and like putting up 200,000 copies first week, Future's having his fucking highest debut of his whole career.
Look what Gunna did also with DS Forever,
bro. Massive. Like, Lil Baby's gonna drop this year. That's probably gonna be in the the 200s. If Future's doing over 200,000, Lil Baby's doing it again this year too. Absolutely. So yeah, that's
but hyperpop.
The hyperpop
I don't know,
statement is kind of weird. Okay, which hyperpop artist do you think has the opportunity to do that?
I mean, what is there? You got Yeet, you got SSG Kobe, you got Ken Carson. Like, I feel like the emerging scene of the popping artists right now are within that hyper pop lane.
You would put Ken Carson in that lane?
Yeah, he kind of has like those rage beats that fall into like the hyper pop umbrella, you could say.
Yeah, but he attacks a lot more. Like, I would say the Yeet. I think the Yeet example is the best. Like, at the moment, okay, let's say Yeet's the forefront runner of all of this. Do you think Yeet's like smashing over 200,000 in his career?
Oh, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know, but he had a killer year. He's been killing it.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of people that fuck with his new sound. I'm not convinced. It's just that I got to see where hyperpop goes.
I don't think it's the next big wave, though. That's my prediction. I don't think so.
A lot of people thought it was going to be drill after.
Yeah.
And like, look, it's like it's still there, but I see more people even gravitating more towards the UK scene at this point. Like, that's probably doing better. But okay, let's go on to my next one. Let's go on to Lil Harlow. Listen to this one, all right? Lil Wayne and 21 Savage have been on a better feature run than Lil Baby over the past year.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so think about Lil Baby. Think about all those special features that he's done. Rip them apart, and then you put Wayne and 21 Savage in front. I think this is actually a W take. Like, it's steaming hot, but it's a W take because the consensus is always Lil Baby, but Wayne and 21 Savage have been fucking ripping it.
Yeah, 21 Savage is just killing it on all fronts. I mean, if you look at what he just did on surround sound, if you look at really just all of his features. He always brings a new and dynamic performance. And I mean, Lil Baby's run has been pretty special. I mean, he's done songs with Nicki, he's done songs with Drake, Kanye West, Cole, Polo G, like just the biggest artists in the game. But with Lil Baby, I just feel like I may be getting a little exhausted of hearing him on like everybody's song to a certain extent. I mean, it's not to say the performances aren't good, but I feel like it's just I'm getting kind of desensitized towards a Baby feature.
It's being overused for sure, but I definitely do think that Wayne and 21 Savage, yes, they've had just as strong, if not stronger, feature runs. But Luke, go on to your next one.
All right, the next one actually comes to us from OK Key, who says album covers are somehow getting worse with time. And this is kind of tough to comment on just because, you know, we see hundreds of album covers every year. But I will say, like, when the bar is being set at, like, you know, pregnant ladies emojis and black screens for album covers, it's kind of setting the bar a bit low in this new decade.
A lot of people didn't fuck with both of those album covers in particular. And, like, do you think it's a hot take, though, like to say that album covers have gotten worse? Because I've seen a lot of cool ones, though.
There's still a lot of dope ones, for sure.
There's a lot of really nice ones coming out.
It depends, I guess, the artist. But do you think in the mainstream, maybe it's kind of been like artists are maybe getting lazier with their art, or?
I think there's always an artistic, saying the word lazy is not, I feel as if fitting for this conversation, because I feel as if there's always an approach. You know, when you're talking about Drake and Kanye, like these guys have like branding experts, and like those things are calculated to the point where like it could fit in an algorithm. You know what I'm trying to say? But to say that they're lazy, I'm not sure if they're lazy. I just think that they definitely evoke a certain, emotion, You know
what? I think it's because in the internet age now, like the whole culture has kind of changed in the sense that instead of putting out an album cover, it's going to be, let's say, visually appealing. It's turned into what's going to get people talking the most. What's going to be maybe the most controversial that's going to get people really talking before the album drops.
That happened with CLB and Donda,
that was a case with those two, and it's been a case with a couple of other ones too, I would say.
Well, even looking at the mainstream, Call Me If You Get Lost was super well calculated because it tied into the whole Sir Baudelaire alter ego that was being presented.
But then you have Culture 3, you have Hall of Fame.
Those are definitely different talking points, but I think those ones are definitely serious. I think even J. Cole's, J. Cole's was fire. Little Sims had a fantastic album cover too last year. There's a lot of different people that had nice ones. But okay, I'm gonna go on to my next one. Listen to this one, all right? This comes to us from Zentilis. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter. And you said Polo G is the best new generation rapper of all time, and he dropped 3 future classics. That's fucking steaming hot if I've ever seen it.
That's super hot. I mean, I totally disagree. I think that Hall of Fame was a mid-album, without a doubt. That hasn't aged well. I mean, the thing with Polo G is that what's cool about him is that he does incorporate conscious lyrics into his music sometimes, but it's just the production is really not good. Like he needs better beat selection, bro.
Absolutely. He's such a talented rapper, and I think that yes, when you look at let's say pure, going onto a mic and spitting, like the new generation, Polo G is definitely in an upper echelon, just because, even within that whole drill and trap scene, who's really spitting like him, and who's has that clear pronunciation, who's able to do storytelling like him, who invokes emotions like that, and who has who incorporates let's say literary devices like imagery in their writing, he's just able to do it all. But I mean, his production choices are bad, bro. They're like YouTube beats, legit. I feel like I'm listening to YouTube beats,
and it's a shame just because you know what he's capable of.
Give him fucking Boy Wonder, dude. That guy's making insane albums. But Hall of Fame's his only miss, low-key.
The GOAT was pretty good, I will say.
And even at that, you can't necessarily blame people for putting him on the upper echelon, of the new generation rappers. But I don't think he's the best new gen of all time right now.
Polo G or Lil Baby? Who are you taking?
Lil Baby any day.
Absolutely.
But I'm taking Baby Keem over both of them, to be honest with you. That's mine.
That's interesting. Baby Keem over Lil Baby.
Baby Keem over Lil Baby. I think that especially for the new style that he's presenting and how his music's being created right now, it's just so different, bro. It doesn't even make sense, what he's presenting. And I mean, he's kicking off PG Lang, so you could expect that dominance for the next decade.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. But let's get on to the next one, which comes to us from Weapon and Browning, who says, Drake hasn't made a good album since if you're reading this, it's too late.
That's steaming hot.
How do you
again.
feel about that?
That's an L. I think that's a big L. I think that okay, views fire, more life fire, Dark Lane demo tapes fire. The only ones that you could possibly argue are Scorpion and CLB, and I actually enjoy those track lists. I don't think Drake's ever dropped a bad album, to be honest with you. It's all quality. No one's getting access to the types of productions he's getting access to. No one has the type of engineering he has. No one has the type of range that he has with the singing duality and the rapping duality. And no one's able to make timeless music like that. Even looking at views, like it was just its anniversary and people were fucking celebrating it like it's Christmas Day.
That's what's funny
you know?
about this take is that he says, since if you're reading this, it's too late. But I mean, the conversation ends right after his following album, which was Views, which was incredible because, I mean, even if you're looking at it being constructed as an album, because I feel like the main complaint with Drake albums is that they feel like playlists, but Views didn't feel like that. He
Absolutely
took
not.
you through a change of seasons within Toronto, starting off with wintertime, transitioning into the summer, and then going back into the winter. Like, it felt so environmental, and it has some of Drake's best R&B cuts and just some of his best performances in years. So I think that Views is amazing. And like you said, you could argue for Scorpion, Certified Lover Boy, but even those aren't bad albums by any means.
Absolutely not. And I think that when you go through those albums, you find quality. You do. Like, they're not spectacular. They don't knock you off your socks. It's not going to be like that. But to say that an album is bad, like, it has to be bad. Like, you have to go into there and like mixing and engineering's off. The production choices are just horrible. The rapping performances are not on par. But like, you go into an album and you have your checklist. Good singing, good rapping, great production, great engineering, memorable songs. You could go through each and every single one of those albums and check off those marks.
I don't think they all check off all boxes. Like, for example, Cohesion, which is a big one. I wouldn't say that you could attribute that to Scorpion.
Yes and no, because like the Scorpion, the first half of Scorpion is super tight, and so is the second one. I think that when you look at it over a totality, yes, because of the double side, but like
we're in the streaming era though now. Now that's the body of work.
No, I get you,
what I mean?
but like it is labeled a double album, so even at
But regardless, though, like what's cohesive about it besides a split in rapping performances and more of the R&B
well,
stuff?
example, like okay, well, starting off with the rapping stuff like Is There More, Sandra's Rose, 8 out of 10. Like these are like, it was more of an introspective Drizzy that was talking about him getting to the peak of his fame and feeling like there's nothing left for him and him having to go back to that emotion. Like, I also felt as if, yes, like within the stuff like Mob Ties or let's say Nonstop, like those were new rapping performances that he wanted to bring to the table in 2018, execute upon them well. And then let's say on the other side of stuff like Jaded, like those are fantastic R&B cuts and everything was super emotional but had a lower end.
There's still misses on that track list.
There is. Sure. Don't get me wrong. There is, but I think that people don't give it the respect that it deserves. Like, it's actually a good listen.
It's good. Yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah. Do you have any other takes, or do we wrap it up there,
That's
man?
it, man. I have nothing else. Like, like when you go through these types of takes, like you have to take everything with a grain of salt because either people are just trying to troll or they're just super diehard fans that genuinely believe in it. And
yeah.
If you believe in it, all music is subjective, and that's pretty much all it is. But drop your hottest takes in the comment section, all right, guys? I want to see what you guys are saying. But thank you so much for watching this video. We're doing original series like this on a weekly basis here at NFR Podcast. So hit the subscribe button. Plus, for the whole rest of the year, listen, this week we got Jack Harlow's new album. Next week we have Kendrick Lamar's. We will be reacting to them live on our Patreon plan. Link in the description. Go to the reaction tier, and the live streams will be starting every single Friday at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for watching this again, and we'll catch you in the next one.